A long time ago, someone had the bright idea to take your home phone and make it something that you could take with you on the go. While the earliest iterations were big and bulky, even potentially dangerous, sooner or later, this guy, who worked for a company named after a delicious fruit, said this.
And we are calling it iPhone. Today, Apple is going to reinvent the phone.
And over the course of a revolutionary keynote address, he completely changed the direction of phones forever. Eventually, this glass front touchscreen became the standard, and with a big glass screen came the advent of apps to use with that screen. We were all used to games like Brick Breaker on our Blackberries or Bob's Adventure on our Sidekicks, but with this new revolution in technology came new games. Fun games that were more than a ball bouncing or a ball bouncing. Eventually, companies realized how invested we were in these games, and the biggest evil the world has ever known was committed. They added microtransactions to games. You see, these microtransactions are a way for the game company to keep making money long after you've bought or downloaded a game. For many, this was a way to push out a free game and milking the audience of that game to make way more than you ever would from having a base price on the game itself. Eventually, there was a sort of mass realization that this was pretty gross, and people started getting turned off to the idea of spending money on mobile games. Huge bills would be racked up by the end of the month to make sure people could do certain things, and companies got more and more egregious with the things that you needed to pay for. They added limits to how long you could play, made their game so no matter how well you played, you'd hit a wall that you could either spend cash to advance past, or wait long periods of time to get through. Well, eventually, Bandai, who holds the trademark for gachapons, started developing games with the gachapon system at the heart of the games. What's gachapon, and why would they think adding that system to games would make a difference? Well, gachapons are machines in Japan and elsewhere that give you a toy for a set price. There are rare toys, super rare toys, and common toys in some machines, but the magic and the trick is that they all cost the same. You get a toy at random. You see, gachapons take advantage of the thrill that you get from gambling, while presenting it as a child's activity. I'm not here to get into whether or not that's a bad thing, but it definitely works. Gachapon machines are super popular, and they're literally everywhere, even in your games. So let's answer those questions we just posed. Why would Bandai think that adding a gacha aspect to the game would make a difference? Alright, well, let's take Naruto Ultimate Ninja Blazing for example. It's one of the more popular mobile games on YouTube right now. You see, Naruto Blazing is an interesting game at a base level. You can take the Naruto story with you on the go and use your characters to take on enemy ninja, completing all of Naruto Part 1 and the Kakashi Gaiden Saga. You can then do special emergency missions to get new characters, lower the cost of them to be in your team, and raise their luck to get more items from being in your team. You also get materials to level your characters up, make them even more powerful, and awakening them. You see, that last part is the key, awakening. Awakening makes your characters stronger by taking them from a 5-star rarity to a 6-star rarity, where they gain more levels and an additional ability. Wait a minute, 5-star, 6-star? Well, yeah. You see, your characters range from 3-star, which is the most common, to a 6-star, which is the rarest. Each upgrade from one star to another comes with amazing new card arts, usually getting more and more epic with the higher your rarity is, and who doesn't want to look at the sweet art that the artists behind this game are cooking up? Your characters also change sometimes, and they get a very powerful secret technique that they can use. So there's rarities. Is that what makes a game a gacha? No, I mean, you see, players tend to do something called summoning for their characters. Summoning lets you summon 1 or 10 characters from a banner with a set amount of characters at different rarities, often having a few featured characters that everyone really wants.
I got the third one chilling behind that piece of shit. Go. Ah! Ah! Let's go! I wasn't ready. I was going to actually hiccup. Okay, I had a hiccup, but it's actually gone now.
So here's the key. You see, when you summon, you can get 10 characters that you don't want, 10 characters you don't recognize, and even 10 characters that aren't useful to you at all. While other times, you can get multiple characters that'll be vital to your next team formation for taking on PvP or that next raid, and this is where the gacha aspect comes in. Summoning takes up ninja pearls, which can be earned in-game, but can also be bought at a semi-reasonable rate. And that's the key. Players spend money on digital currency to gamble on whether or not they'll get a character, to then use in activities that Bandai constantly update in order to get people to rinse and repeat. It's gambling, but with Dragon Ball or Naruto characters. Naruto Blazing isn't the only game like this. Basically, all of Bandai's anime-inspired mobile games at this point have a gacha system. They focus on the most popular anime and manga series like Naruto or Dragon Ball, Bleach, One Piece, and this makes sure that the market is huge. It's genius, because it takes away the disgust people have for microtransactions and makes it so people are willing to pay out of pocket for a chance to get the character that they want, knowing that there's a high probability that they won't. There's even banners where you're guaranteed to get a character that's featured on that banner if you spend hundreds of pearls. It's incredible. And, as incredible as it is, that's where we find the answer to one of our two main questions. Why anime mobile games? Why do they work? Well, they work because the games themselves are actually fun to play, but they also make use of people's aversion to gambling when it's masked as something else. They get you to gamble without ever having to use the word gambling, and that makes it so you can dive in without ever giving it a second thought. You can take that negatively, but as long as people are being responsible, paying their bills first, and taking care of their basic needs, I don't think any of us can really judge how much they spend on pearls or stones. So the second question, why are these games exploding on YouTube lately? Over the past year or so, games like Dokkan Battle have been exploding on YouTube channels that cover anime games and anime content. And the answer here is a pretty simple one, but it'll take a second to break down. You see, these channels, including this one, tend to all play the same games. We walk through the same games, we play the same online, and we all have playlists full of videos from like Naruto Storm or Xenoverse. Some channels have other games, like our coverage for Dragon Ball Fusions or the Hajime no Ippo boxing game, but generally, most of our channels take one form of content and throw our own spin on it. Well, at the moment, the main anime game being played is... can you think of one? Storm is dead. Xenoverse might as well be. I can't remember the last release of a One Piece game, and let's not even get started on Bleach. You see, we're in a weird place, I keep saying you see, between the launch of Xenoverse 2 and Dragon Ball FighterZ, where there's gaps in content that have to be filled. That's just the reality of the situation. As nice as it would be to be completely saturated with home console AAA games, we simply aren't right now. And that's fine, because the mobile games are here to make sure your favorite content creator can keep you entertained. Your favorite content creator more than likely enjoys one of the more popular anime mobile games, and making videos on what you enjoy is way easier than making videos just for the sake of making them. Put that onto the fact that people who play the games love to see their favorite YouTuber playing the same thing, following their journey, checking to see what they got on their polls or summons, and you have the answer to our question. Why are mobile games exploding on YouTube? Because more people are playing them. They're becoming more and more popular, and the people that you watch on YouTube are realizing that there's an audience for when they play their favorite mobile games. Stack that onto the first answer, and let's be real. When you go to Vegas and see someone bet it all, it's interesting to see whether or not their bet pulls through, or they lose the deed to their house. Seeing whether your favorite YouTuber got that LR Gohan, or that new Edo Tensei Minato, is exciting. And that's probably why anime mobile games and their presence on YouTube are here to stay, especially with games like Naruto to Boruto Strikers on the horizon. We'll all probably need something to fill the vast amount of time that we won't be playing that game after it dies in a month or two. Have a favorite Japanese mobile game? Let us know in the comment section. What's your best pull? What's your biggest achievement? Who do you love watching? Let us know. Like the video if you learned anything new or found this interesting, and explore the channel. I'm sure there's something else for you here. With over 1,000 videos, there pretty much has to be. Hit that subscribe button for more interesting content in the future, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.